Hello, Williamson County Emergency Services. It's Tania Glenn, and I'm bringing you the third deployment brief in this series since the pandemic kicked off. So what I want to talk to you about today is where we are. We have hit the wall. We are officially at mile 20. I've used that marathon analogy throughout this series of briefs, and this is it. We are hitting the wall, or some of you are still approaching the wall, but you know it's coming, and you've basically hit that exhaustion. This is a tough time to be working in emergency services, and so understand that this is normal. What I wanted to do, first of all, is just validate what you're going through. From the first deployment brief, we talked about the phases of deployments, and we are officially in exhaustion, right? There were those 4 phases, and exhaustion was the last one that I mentioned, so here we are. In the second brief, we talked about the phases of disasters. We hit the concept of disillusionment. And disillusionment is when we just want to go back to normal. We're tired, we're frustrated, we really are missing our normal, and our new normal is not anything we've experienced before, so we're uncomfortable, we're unsettled. And you notice that society right now is feeling the same way. People are just unsettled. So here we are. So what we do, you guys, is we just address burnout by taking it on. The thing to understand about burnout is that it's really quite normal, and it's very, very normal in any public safety professional's career. What we do is we put you into very, very tough situations, and you come in with really good intentions and really high expectations. And then basically what we do is we stick you into the worst days of people's lives. So you come in with high hopes and good intentions and lots of good training. You're sacrificing so much of yourself and giving to others and working long shifts and exposing yourself to dangers. And then you hit this unbelievable mess that you sometimes have to clean up, and sometimes you see the worst situations, and that impacts you. What happens when we reach burnout, you guys, is that your life is out of balance, right? You've lost the sense of harmony and balance in your life, and work seems to take much more of a precedent than it normally does. We feel like we can't get away from it. We feel like we have no sense of downtime or good quality, alone time or family time or those kinds of things. And basically you just feel out of balance. What I've noticed when people reach burnout is the calls come out, the tones drop, and people start to roll their eyes or slam equipment and slam doors and things like that, and you're just frustrated. So what we do with this, you guys, is we acknowledge it and we address it and we take it on. The biggest combatant for your burnout is your resilience. And I know I've said this before, we keep it really simple. Resilience really boils down to hydration, nutrition, rest, and exercise. And remember, small changes in those pay off big. And then your family, your faith, your friends, and your hobbies, your life outside the job. Really, really important. So keep going with that. When you don't have enough time to have a bunch of time with your family or do all the good practices of resilience, what I want you to remember is do what you can. Stay hydrated, try to eat right, try to get rest when you can, and really stay on top of that. So while we're talking about all of this, what I like to do also is stay a little bit ahead of things. And this is what I'm worried about what's coming up next. We have a lot of first responders who've seen a lot of trauma. You guys are stressed. There's all the issues that lead into the decay of people's mental health, and we're hitting them all. So what I want to talk about is really truly what is going on with the suicide epidemic in emergency services. And it's not always what you think. Yes, we have traumas, yes, we have stress, but I will tell you that the #1 issue that first responders are facing that's causing gas on the fire to suicidal ideation is the lack of sleep. You guys, this is the devil's playground. When you don't get enough sleep, your mental health suffers. When your mental health suffers, you feel awful. And what happens over time is it becomes harder and harder to get good sleep. The more stressed you are, the less you're taking care of yourself, the poorer quality of sleep you're actually getting. And this is so, so important. You guys, if we push you hard enough without sleep, everyone knows you'll have a psychotic break. That's how important sleep is. So what I want you to remember is that your rest, your naps, your sleep, all of that is really, really important. The key is to schedule enough so you can get enough, right? Tailor your day so that you have enough time at night to get at least a decent amount of sleep. Maybe you can't accomplish 7 or 8 hours, but get as much as you can. Keep as regular a schedule as you can. Get up and go to bed at the same time every day. Don't throw your schedule off on the weekends too horribly much. right? Your sleep-friendly environment means declutter your room, clean it up. Don't fight in the bedroom. That's not what the bedroom is for. Like, let's keep your bedroom as a good, safe sanctuary. Cool, dark, quiet, get all the pets and kids out of the bed, and do the best you can to really have good sleep hygiene, right? That's very, very important. Your relaxing routine is basically, you kind of do the same thing every night. That kind of triggers your brain to go, oh yeah, it's time to go to bed because we're having our herbal tea and we're reading or, doing those kinds of things. Another thing to remember is stay off the social media before bed, right? That ramps everybody up. Those bright screens on your iPads and iPhones and such, those really wake you up. So get off that stuff, right? If you're angry about somebody's comments as you're trying to go to bed, what does that do to your sleep, right? It really disrupts everything. So do the best you can with your sleep hygiene. Make sure you're exercising, take your naps, right? And be very, very cautious of the sleeping aids. We've talked about that before. The other thing is this, your happiness, right? So it's a 1-2 punch. It's the lack of sleep and then your happiness. Now, happiness is kind of a fuzzy concept here, but what it really boils down to, you guys, is this. It is very, very important that you are tracking your physical health, your mental health, and we're starting to look at things like your cortisol levels. Now, first responders have high cortisol levels from all of the fight or flight responses that you guys have generated over time. But some first responders, we're finding, have zeroed out on cortisol. Through adrenaline fatigue, what we're finding is that their cortisol is so low that they feel completely exhausted all the time. The cortisol, of course, is playing tricks on your testosterone. And so we're looking at, even for women, we're checking T levels because so much cortisol in first responders is creating all kinds of issues with lower T levels. And of course, when your T drops, that makes you feel depressed. If your D is low, you feel yucky, you feel cloudy, you feel like you're in a fog. So all of these are really important. I do ask that you check these annually with your doctor just to make sure that we're tracking. And if you get an annual assessment, what happens is you at least know if your baseline is changing. But let's tune into all of this. Now, the two things I just mentioned, you guys, the sleep and your glucocorticoids, basically, there's no stigma attached with that. Getting a sleep study done, that's an easy thing for most people to do. Getting your blood draws to make sure your chemistry is right, there's not a lot of stigma attached to that. Where the challenge is now is your mental health. And so I created a documentary, and I want to invite you guys to watch this. It's 46 minutes. You can watch it anytime. It's on the website, smashingthestigma.com. And what I want to do is take the area where there's the most stigma and help you understand what getting good care looks like. I invite you to watch this. Here's 7 people who walked through hell. They were not punished for getting help, right? And look at their outcome as they walk you through their stories. And the reason we did this is because it is so hard for first responders to ask for help. When people do ask for help, they always say, Tanya, if there's a way I can help others, I want to do it. So I took 7 amazing people and we made a documentary. You can watch it anytime, like I said. I will warn you, it starts with a really rough 911 call, so I just want to let you know ahead of time that it does start with a little bit with a bang, so just so you're aware. That takes me to the end, you guys. What we're going to do is we're going to finish strong. Let's keep our eye focused on running through the finish line, not to the finish line. I said that in my first brief. Let's finish strong, right? Don't get an idea in your mind that it's going to end on this date and then be sourly disappointed and really frustrated and angry. Let's keep going with this, you guys. Let's keep strong. Do all of your health. Keep the vitamin C and zinc flowing. Let's get all of that going so we can finish strong and get through this and be better people on the flip side. Finally, here's our contact information. We absolutely adore you guys. Please call us anytime. We are here for you. We remain fully operational. Everything you come in for is confidential. So please do ask for help if you need it. Thank you all. We love you all.